Your child comes home from school with a story. Someone shoved them, left them out, said something cruel, and you feel the flash of anger. Not at your child, for them. So you pull them close and you say the thing that every loving, protective parent says in that moment. Don't let anyone push you around. You have to be tough. Stand your ground. And you mean it with everything you have. You are not teaching cruelty. You are teaching survival. You are giving them armor. There is nothing wrong with that instinct. It comes from the same place everything you do for your child comes from. Love, and the very human terror of watching someone you love get hurt. But here is what I need you to understand today. That moment, and two others exactly like it, small, ordinary, completely well-intentioned, are quietly writing a set of instructions inside your child's developing brain. Instructions for how to treat people when they are angry. Instructions for how to handle conflict. Instructions for what another person's pain is worth. And if those instructions are written consistently enough, your child will carry them into every classroom, every friendship, every relationship they ever have. Not as choices, but as instincts. Today, we are going to look at 3 parenting habits that research consistently links to the development of bullying behavior in children. Not abuse, not neglect. Habits, the ordinary kind. The kind that get praised. And exactly what to shift starting today. Picture a weeknight drive home. Someone cuts you off and you react. Voice sharp, commentary about that driver coming out before you can stop it. Or picture a disagreement with your partner. Voice is elevated. One of you using that tone, the one that makes clear who holds the power in this moment. Your child is in the car. Your child is in the next room. Your child is always closer than you think. You are not trying to teach them anything in that moment. You are just a person under stress, reacting the way humans under stress react. But Albert Bandura's landmark research at Stanford changed how we understand what children are actually absorbing from those moments. Children who simply watched an adult behave aggressively reproduced that same behavior at significantly higher rates, without being told to, without being rewarded for it, without being conscious they had learned anything at all. The nervous system does not distinguish between this is how adults handle things and this is how I should handle things. It records both as the same lesson. Our culture codes this kind of directness as a virtue. He tells it like it is. She doesn't let people walk over her. Children watch that framing happen in real time, in the people they most want to become. What this builds is not toughness. It is a conflict resolution script that roots through aggression before empathy, before any consideration of what the other person might be experiencing. Not as a decision, as a reflex. The shift is not about becoming someone who never reacts. It is about letting your child watch you regulate in real time. I'm really frustrated right now. I'm going to take a breath before I respond. Your child just watched a person they admire choose something different. That counter script is being recorded too. The next habit is invisible. It happens in the space between what a parent says and what a parent doesn't say. Your child is crying hard over something that genuinely seems small to you. A toy, a friend who left them out, a disappointment that, from your vantage point, does not warrant this level of response. And you say, with complete love, "It's not that big a deal. You're fine. Stop crying." Or maybe you say nothing. Just a slight shift in your energy, a contained impatience that communicates without words. This is too much. But Martin Hoffman's research on empathy development reveals that children develop empathy, the genuine capacity to recognize and respond to other people's pain, primarily by first learning to recognize and process their own. And that requires that a child's emotional states be acknowledged, named, and treated as real. The child who is told consistently that their feelings are too much does not develop the internal vocabulary for emotional experience. And Kenneth Dodge's research at Duke University found that children without that vocabulary are significantly more likely to misread the ambiguous cues of peers as deliberate acts of hostility. A bump in the hallway becomes an attack. This is hostile attribution bias. And it is learned, in part, through years of experiencing one's own emotional life as unwelcome. Our culture praises the stoic child, the one who shrugs it off, bounces back fast, never makes it a big deal. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes, what we are celebrating is a child who has learned that their inner life is not a safe thing to show. The shift does not require long, structured emotional processing. It requires one step before the correction. You're really frustrated right now. That makes sense. One sentence. Then the limit still stands. The correction still happens, but it lands in a child who has been seen first, not silenced first. The first two habits are things a parent actively does. This one is something a parent doesn't do, and the not doing may be the most consequential of all. Your toddler grabs a toy away from another child. Your 7-year-old shoves a sibling and gets what they wanted. And in the busyness of the moment, in the exhaustion of the day, you let it pass. You are not endorsing cruelty. You are depleted, and it was small, and there are 10 more things demanding your attention right now. But Gerald Patterson at the Oregon Social Learning Center spent decades documenting how aggressive behavior in children is unintentionally trained. He called it the coercive family process. When aggressive behavior is met with parental inaction or capitulation, the child's nervous system records. Aggression produced a result. The behavioral script gets stronger either way. And Dan Olvias's foundational longitudinal research on bullying identified parental permissiveness toward early aggressive behavior as one of the 4 most consistent family of origin predictors of bullying perpetration. The pattern does not outgrow itself. It travels forward. The cultural trap is elegant in its deceptiveness. Early dominance behaviors get routinely reframed as admirable traits. Assertive, a natural leader, knows how to stand up for herself. These are the phrases that allow small aggressive acts to pass unremarked, repeatedly, until the pattern is so deeply established that it has become part of how the child understands what they are allowed to do to other people. The shift is not harsh punishment. It is a brief, calm, completely consistent response. Every single time. That hurt them. We don't do that. Here's what we do instead. Not an explosion. Not a lecture, a pattern. Because it is the pattern, repeated reliably, that teaches the nervous system what aggression produces in this family. Here is what you can start today. The next time you are frustrated in front of your child, say out loud what you are doing with it. Before you redirect a behavior, name the feeling first. One sentence every time. And every single time your child acts aggressively toward another person, respond. Calmly, briefly, without fail. You do not need to be a perfect parent. You need to be a self-aware one, because the parent who catches themselves, who pauses inside a familiar pattern and decides that this particular habit stops here, that parent changes something. Not eventually. Now, think back to that child who came home with a story about being shoved, about being left out. You wanted to protect them. You still do. The deepest protection you can give them is not armor. It is a child who does not need to do that to someone else, because the child who learns to feel their own pain is the child who will not need to inflict it. If this gave you one moment to see differently, share it with a parent who needs it. Tell me in the comments which of these 3 patterns landed closest to home, because every one of us has at least one. And stay with us. This conversation is just beginning.